Forestry Commission as brush fires keep burning.
Plus, now that we are officially out of the driest month of the year, where did it fall in terms of other Octobers? We have all that and more still ahead on First Alert Weather Extra.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
And we thank you for staying with us here on Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt, joined by meteorologist Lauren Linehan.
And I just realized, Wes, we're matching.
Yes, I got the memo today. How about that?
We did. You know, we've been, even though we're in drought conditions right now, I would say we've been pretty busy because we finally have what on the horizon?
Finally, some much needed wet weather.
Very excited.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that, one of the next big things. And as we go to the maps here, Lauren, it is interesting. I was checking out the national picture, and there's hardly any sort of advisory across the entire country right now. I saw a couple of flood advisories over the western U.S., but this is one of the nearest big weather makers that we see. And look at this thing. I mean, it's almost in Canada. It's across the far northern U.S., but there's a trailing front with that. It's going to stay to the north, but that system passes well north of us. But you can see some snow and some rain there across parts of New England as we go into this evening and into the day tomorrow. But that's one of the big systems impacting the country. We've actually had, I was noticing, a fetch of moisture here moving across South Texas. And this is moisture. What we're looking at is a view from space, and we're detecting the moisture in the mid levels of the atmosphere. And that's what brought the cloud cover. Did you notice today it started to get kind of overcast during the afternoon? We didn't see any rainfall, but those clouds moved in and it helped to keep those temperatures down during the afternoon. So we had highs out there in the 70s, but this will slide on by and we'll see the sky clearing out again tonight with those temperatures taking a tumble. And here's where we're at right now. And I know we've got the early sunset times. What do you think about it? 4:51, the sunset, but I guess when you can have temperatures like this time of the year, it's hard to complain, right? 60s at this hour, 67 Birmingham, even Utah still showing 71 degrees. But tonight, we'll see those readings cooling off into the 50s out there for later on tonight. A mostly clear sky. It's going to stay very dry, and some of our colder spots out the door tomorrow morning, we'll see some upper 40s, places to the north and east. And then we quickly warm up. Notice the afternoon tomorrow, a high near 80 degrees, a sunny sky. And if you're planning on trying to tackle some of that leaf cleanup tomorrow, it won't be a terribly windy day, but you can see the breeze out of the southwest. We've had a south flow making a return to the area, a southwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour during the day. But that dry weather is going to hang on into Wednesday. And then by Thursday, we see the next chance for showers making a return to the forecast. And that's one of the next big things that we're going to be talking about coming up in the 7-day forecast.
And today in Tuscaloosa County, veterans living in the area received a free weather radio. Partnering with the Tuscaloosa EMA, the weather radios were given out on the front lawn of the Tuscaloosa VA Medical Center. They were given out on a first-come, first-served basis from 2 to 4 p.m. today. This was the second time this event was held in honor of those who served. And here in Birmingham, many people came together this weekend to plant some trees for a good cause. The goal is to honor Veterans Day and to better the Collegeville neighborhood. City Council member J.T. Moore says in addition to helping bring people together, the tree planting activity brings long-term benefits.
Trees are just important anyway because they help with, eliminating a lot of the water puddles that, or standing water that is in different areas. And so we want to make sure that, whatever we're doing is going to be able to not only benefit us for the now, but for the future as well.
Oh, what a great initiative. This event is held around Veterans Day to honor the ways our armed forces make our country better.
And as we continue to see extreme drought conditions in our state, the Alabama Forestry Commission is dealing with more than 140 wildfires around the state at this time. Most of those are under control, but 11 are still active.
Right now, it's just really trying to get people to be cautious. It may come to the point where we have to ban all outdoor fire burning, and that's probably coming if we don't get some significant rainfall.
There is a statewide fire alert right now, and you could face charges if found to be responsible for a fire.
Well, across the country, parts of North Carolina are under a state of emergency as firefighters battle a wildfire. The North Carolina Forest Service says it is only 5% contained. Weather conditions Sunday hindered crews' efforts as wind gusts exceeded 20 miles per hour. It's not clear yet how the fire started, but a burn ban has been in effect due to dry conditions.
And in Texas, after extreme flash flooding last weekend, communities and families are still trying to clean up after evacuating. Aaron Jones has more.
Last weekend, more than 10 inches of rain fell in a matter of hours.
It was up to the bottom of that window right there, you see.
George Hinkle's home still flooded, his family relying on the community to get by.
We don't know how long emotionally we can handle having to wait for this water to go down.
While he does have insurance, he says there's a problem.
The insurance can't come in here and adjust until the waters are down.
He explains the home or barn dominium backs up to Kings Creek Reservoir.
The relief that I'm looking for, I don't understand why I can't get it. Why I can't get the flood waters. One pump, one diesel operated pump on the other side of that reservoir. I've contacted the people that manage the reservoir, and they say that they can't put anything the reservoir's doing exactly like it should, that I should have never been able to purchase this property.
Kaufman County Emergency Management Coordinator Steve Howie says the home was built in a flood easement without their knowledge. He says the county is doing what they can to help, but the issue is the Texas Soil and Water Conservation District's responsibility. He points out putting up a pump would not only be very expensive, but setup alone could take 2 to 3 days.
Every day that I march out there is harder and harder on me.
Hinkle still remaining hopeful something can be done. In Kaufman, Aaron Jones, CBS News.
Just incredible, all the rain just to our west there in parts of Texas. Not a drop of rain for us. In just 30 seconds, we're going to check in with Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson as we look back at the month of October and the standings as the extreme drought continues.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. With the chance for rain finally returning by the end of the week, meteorologists Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson join us now for a recap of our October rainfall and where last month fell in terms of the lowest rainfall on the monthly record.
So it's been super dry, so I decided to do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
How dry was October?
Pretty darn dry, Matt.
Back to you. No, let's show you the top 5 wettest Octobers. Obviously, not wet at all.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about being on this list.
But look how much rain they saw in 1990. We saw in 1995 almost 12 inches of rainfall.
It was a wet October back in '95, wasn't it?
Yep.
But we only had like 3/10 of an inch of rain in Birmingham in October, so we're way on down the scale.
That's right, 10th driest on record. So did a little research, wanted to calculate not only Birmingham but also Tuscaloosa and Anniston. Tuscaloosa ended up being the 6th driest, only picked up less than 1/2 of an inch of rainfall.
And Anniston got more than Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, and the 14th driest there at 8/10 of an inch of rain.
Yeah, and you know, I checked temperatures as well. Didn't see anything out of the norm. We were sort of in the middle when it came to warm temperatures, cooler temperatures. But in general, we are seeing a trend when it comes to warming in Birmingham in the month of October. So these are just some of the average temperatures. Notice you'll see those swings. Some Octobers will be colder than others, but generally we're seeing a warming trend of 4.2 degrees, and this is from Climate Central. Now let's talk about the warmth. We were mentioning it's going to be pretty toasty going into tomorrow and Wednesday. We could see some 80s, so I was wondering, could we possibly tie or break some record highs tomorrow?
I don't think so, Matt.
I don't think so either, but you know, last year at this time it was pretty toasty.
Yeah, it was. In fact, that's when we set the records, was in 2022. 85 in Birmingham, 88 in Tuscaloosa, 83 in Anniston. We're just going to be a few degrees cooler than that going into the next few days. Probably be in the low 80s in some locations.
That's right. And then I also took a look at Wednesday for November 8th. And as you can see, all 3 locations broke their record high just a year ago.
It's crazy, man.
85 in Birmingham, 88 in Tuscaloosa, 85 in Anniston.
You know what that is?
What's
It's crazy.
That's some warm
That's
stuff.
crazy stuff. Well, all righty. Well, we've got some toasty days ahead, but it's looks like it's going to cool down for the weekend, and hopefully we'll get a little rain in the equation too on Friday.
That's what we're hoping for. And in Hawaii, there's some relief for the residents of Oahu as wildfires move away from towns. This comes just months after flames tore through the Hawaiian town of Lahaina. Fox's Lillian Wu has more.
Smoke rising over the mountains of central Oahu. Hawaiian officials say a wildfire burning in the remote location is now moving east, away from populated areas. Since breaking out early Monday, flames scorched more than 1,100 acres of brush, but haven't threatened homes or forced evacuation orders. Still, after deadly wildfires tore through West Maui in August, people across the Aloha State remain on edge.
What it concerns me the most is that I don't see an urgency. I mean, I can sleep well at night.
As of Thursday, Honolulu's fire department says the blaze was 30% contained. Helicopters are dropping water to control the flames, but fire officials say the remote location remains a challenge. Water drops must take place during the day because they're too risky to do at night.
We have 7 aircraft that are doing water drops, which is a pretty impressive number, especially considering their capabilities. The Chinook can carry up to 2,000 gallons of water.
It all comes as tourism slowly returns to West Maui following the summer's historic wildfires. The first phase of reopening kicked off last month, but some business owners fear they may be forced to make some tough decisions if visitor numbers remain low.
Unless we see more of an uptick, then we will continue to operate as tight as we can, and hopefully not find ourselves having to make tough decisions that other companies have already had to make.
Hawaiian officials say they expect to see pre-wildfire tourism numbers return later next year. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
And when we come back, Wes brings more information about that rain chance later this week and into the weekend. We'll see you in a sec.
Time for our first alert forecast here on Weather Extra. Another dry evening out there. Temperatures tumbling into the 50s. A live look from downtown Jasper at Young Jewelers. This is from our First Alert Sky Vision Network. And by the way, if you have our weather app, you can always check in on our Sky Vision Network there. You can download our app for free. Search WBRC in your app store. But yeah, temperatures out there 60s and 50s. Very dry at the moment. And this dry weather hangs on, it looks like, through at least Wednesday, as you can see in the long-range data. But once we get to Thursday, we'll start to see some wet weather approaching. We've got a front on the way, and the models have been in agreement that we're going to get some rain out of this. It certainly looks like one of the better chances that we've seen around here in weeks of everybody seeing some rain. Now, this is not going to end the drought, but it's certainly going to bring us some wet weather in many locations. So I'm giving you that first alert Friday for the possibility of some showers, and there's a chance that some more wet weather could wrap in over the weekend. It may hold off until Sunday, but some of the data has been showing that possibility. So we have Friday, and then a chance that, again, we could see some more wet weather over the weekend. I would at least plan for that possibility. If this does trend one way, though, it may start to trend drier for the weekend, but at least we see the chance for some showers. If you're heading over to Tuscaloosa, well, it won't be cold as ice for the Foreigner concert tomorrow night. Did you get that? All right, we have temperatures in the 60s there during the evening hours. The winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Should be great weather there. Also, Christmas in the country, we have Homestead Hollow happening. If you've never checked this out, always a fun event over in Springville on Friday. This kicks off, and yes, we will have that chance for some showers. It won't be an all-day washout, but the possibility of wet weather is there. But this will continue into the weekend, so there's going to be plenty of opportunities to get out there and enjoy the weekend. And Veterans Day on Saturday, we have 68 degrees. As we honor our heroes there this weekend, we'll have to watch out for that chance of a few showers Saturday. But Sunday's the day, the rain chance, there's still some question marks there. We may need to actually bump that up. You can see 64 degrees with overnight lows in the 40s, and then it looks like we trend a little bit drier into next week. But we do see several opportunities here for some wet weather as we go beyond the 7-day forecast. It looks like towards the middle of next week, there'll be a chance for some showers, and also it looks like going out towards the end of the month. As we go to meteorologist Lauren Linehan, and Lauren, we're going to be tracking, it looks like, as far as next week goes and into the long range there. You know, typically we talk about the month of November. You know, it's got to happen. We start to get into more of an active pattern, and looks like we're starting to see those signals in the long range forecast.
Yeah, Wes, it does finally look like maybe the weather could eventually be turning more unsettled. As we look at our first alert weather calendar here, Wes has highlighted a few days in red that we would need to watch for, maybe a rain chance or possibly eventually some thunderstorms in the forecast. So our first one on Friday, and then maybe seeing a chance for some isolated showers at least over the weekend. But then you'll notice a few more rain chances popping up as we get further into November, even getting closer to the week of Thanksgiving. But let's look at that Climate Prediction Center, their outlook here. Over the next 8 to 14 days, a good portion of the U.S. you'll notice will be seeing above average temperatures, and that does include us here in central Alabama. So maybe not only could we be seeing the potential for more rain, but maybe if we're warmer, we would have to watch for any thunderstorms in the forecast. We know late November and into the winter months, that's when we can kind of get into that secondary severe weather season. So we'll keep a close eye on things, but right now temperatures look in the days ahead to be possibly near or slightly above average. And then as far as low temperatures, we may see a brief little cool down early next week, but generally seeing temperatures eventually running above average, even for those low temperatures as we head farther into November. And then as far as that rainfall outlook, a good portion of the country also seeing the potential for above average precipitation. We could certainly use that here in Alabama. So let's look at the futurecast. This is November 14th, next Tuesday. Seeing us dry overall, but we could maybe see a little disturbance headed our way later in the week that could bring some rain. Generally, most of the work week looks fairly dry once we get past the weekend. But here we go, next Friday and Saturday, showing this is November 18th, the possibility of a disturbance coming through that could bring some rain that weekend, that Saturday. So that is November 18th. This is the weekend before Thanksgiving, actually. And then possibly another system coming in right right behind that, that's Sunday. So this is what Wes is saying. We see these signals here for a more active weather pattern in the forecast leading up to Thanksgiving. And that typically happens this time of the year. So we don't want to see anything in the way of severe weather, which we're not necessarily saying that's going to happen yet, but we are going to be keeping an eye out on these systems to maybe at least bring us some more beneficial rainfall that could hopefully put a little dent in the drought. But goodness knows we've got a long way to go. But we've been talking about here on Earth beyond the atmosphere. We've been talking about this here on Weather Extra. NASA has secured an asteroid sample that could provide clues to life's origin on Earth. And as we've mentioned in the past few weeks when we've talked about this, now a sample of the Bennu asteroid is on display at the Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C. This is the first time NASA has collected a physical sample from a planetary body since Apollo 17 in 1972. NASA estimates the asteroid is a casual 4.5 billion years old. It contains both carbon and water, which leads NASA to believe it could provide clues both to early life on Earth.
The development of why Earth and why was it that life developed here.
And NASA scientists will continue studying the asteroid samples for years as they search for more answers. And a new theory has actually surfaced relating to Earth's creation, answering a burning question that scientists have long tried to figure out. Scientists agree that an ancient planet, also known as Theia, likely smashed into Earth as it was forming, leaving debris that formed the moon we see today. But after wondering what happened to the ancient planet, a new theory suggests that traces of Theia may be closer than we think. Scientists believe that molten pieces of the planet embedded themselves within Earth's mantle after impact, meaning parts of the planet is likely just 1,800 miles below the Earth's surface. And geophysicists say this could explain the origin of two giant masses deep within the Earth that were first detected in the 1980s, which means Theia could have created part of the Earth we stand on and the moon in the sky. Pretty cool. Who all knew Theia was responsible for so much of that? Whoever Theia may be. Well, we'll be right back with more First Alert Weather Extra. We'll be right back.